Hello! Tonight we're reading a thing that's rarely done. I know. Now then, what was I gonna do? Oh. Got scared? Hello? Well, it is October. We're in the spirit of things. Alright, let's see. Oh, wait, shit, what is this? Oh, right. Ah! That was a wiki entry for one of the Distortion Detective characters, I think. Thanks for the raid, Zoomer. You fucking scared me, though. It was a party of one. Hey, we don't judge. Also, my hat's back. There we go. How you doing, Zoomer? You gonna raid and just not say anything? Huh? Right then, where were we? This should be it. Should have brought my co-op buddy with me. Twitch is just weird with viewer numbers. It should say 2, but 1 is close enough for Twitch. It doesn't matter, man. I'm not trying to whore out view numbers or anything like that. So anyway, why don't we get started? And also, why don't I enlarge myself? I don't know how many chapters I'm gonna get through. I haven't taken a look at how long these are on average. So we're just gonna wing it for a couple hours. I can see the distortion, and the distortion can occur to anyone. Hey, streamers, pure technical difficulties. What would I know about technical difficulties? I don't exactly know who coined the term distortion for the phenomenon, but people just started calling it that at some point. No one knows how it works, but the experience so far suggests that this phenomenon is a manifestation of strong emotional desires and explosive surges of feelings. I should learn how to breathe. Hey, robot. It's a chill stream tonight. The pianist, or rather, which wreaked havoc on District 9, is known as one of the most notable cases of the distortion. Not many are aware that smaller cases of the distortion are happening here and there across the city even now. A person turning into a fish and another one's eyes being dyed with the hues of the sky are two such examples. I joined a Faust roleplay Discord. That combination of words isn't in the Bible? The distortion appears to me as visual distortions in a literal sense. Although I can see them, they aren't tangible. In the case of the person whose upper body gradually turned into that of a fish, I can clearly observe scales growing on their body. Yet when I touch their skin, I can only feel the soft sensation of a normal human skin. Hearing this much, one might think the distortion is merely an illusion. Well, that would mean I'm simply delusional and suffering from hallucinations. However, I've taken up this job because that is not the case. Ow. I am chasing after the distortion. It's secretive, yet explicit, and proceeds slowly. For example, the fish person I mentioned earlier, who was dubbed the merfolk, underwent gradual changes, such as having their eyes protrude, gills appear, and scales grow out of their skin. When their upper body almost completely morphed into the form of a fish, the change physically manifested in a moment's notice. Only then could others see what had become of the merfolk, and physically feel the fishy features of their body. The merfolk, case number 5, was originally a villager in District 9's fishing hamlet who was subject to constant abuse. It seemed that they spent most of their time staring into the Great Lake, yearning to escape from their current life. My conclusion is that they desired to be free from their agonies and saw the lake as a getaway, and that strong longing for water ultimately distorted them into the merfolk. Of course, there are many other complicated factors involved, but I'll omit the details since the merfolk is not the main subject of my story. My work is to look out for the cases of the distortion and prevent them. In fact, the progress of the distortion varies for each person. Ever since I gained this ability to see omens of the distortion with my eyes, I cannot see a single person who is not distorted in one way or another. Once again, I don't have a deeper understanding of the phenomenon or anything. I simply started seeing it one day and could notice it earlier than others. Since I can see the signs in advance, I do my best to warn people and take preventative measures before it manifests. That's my job. I was hired by a firm that had lost several of its staff to the so-called Ascension incident and sought out the employees whose eyes were filled with the sky's colors. The firm advised them to wear sunglasses. The idea to give them sunglasses so that they couldn't keep the scenery of the sky in their eyes was so outlandish it made me chuckle. The sky no longer being blue for them didn't have much positive impact on their boring lives, but at least it didn't evaporate anymore. The people who used to look up at the sky started looking down instead. Perhaps they still wanted to get closer to the sky by going up to the rooftop. Or maybe they were just one of the many who chose to jump to death. The city isn't too interested in what happens after a case has been solved. All they need to know is if the deaths were understandable or not. I'm not a charity worker, so I don't bother looking into the cases of distortion I wasn't asked to investigate either. Case number 13. Balloon people. Deviant art moment. This case was rather explosive. I titled this case Balloon People because people's heads quite literally expanded like... For real? Are you just reading a book on stream? Yeah! This is an idea most ingenious. Thanks! I appreciate the compliment. I titled this case Balloon People because people's heads quite literally expanded like balloons until they went pop. This cold explosion would cover everything within a 10-meter radius with blood, and blow to pieces everyone in its range as well. A company in Oak Corp's Nest finally asked for my help after suffering 5 instances of those balloon people. After some investigation, I found out that all occurrences of this distortion had one thing in common. They all worked in the service industry. Relatable. To interpret a distortion, you need to combine multiple pieces of evidence. This process consists of 4 steps: cause, explanation, understanding, and acknowledgement. First, investigate the possible causes of the distortion, and construct a clear explanation that covers the causal relationship in a convincing manner. Okay. Then make the subject understand why they are going through the distortion, and have them acknowledge that they could fully distort at this rate. If all of those steps succeed, the case is closed. The distortion is considered solved if the subject regresses to a form that looks human enough to me. Those who became the balloon people used to work in emotionally intense fields such as delivery carriers, nurses, and call center clerks. Particularly, call center clerks had the largest average explosion radius of 16 meters. I have to wonder, given how nightmarish the city is, what is it like to work in a call center in the city? The clerk's job was to record the claims from clients and send those records to the company. The problem lay in this process. The call center clerks lacked any expertise in the subjects of those complaints, yet they had to endure heaps of insults from their clients, even though there was no use lashing out at them. The clerks were treated like emotional garbage cans, hearing all kinds of abusive language and even threats from clients. I try to be as respectful as possible to people taking my calls. It's like, I know for a fact they can't do anything about it. They could just redirect me based on what I need to get done, right? And I've been in that position. I've never worked in a call center, but one of my responsibilities in one of my previous jobs was to take calls from people. It could be from anything, right? It could be a customer asking the question. It could be a person who's clearly out of their mind just saying shit. And it could even be people from, like, the company. And I had to be there and be like, hello, welcome to the store. What can I help you with? And then I'd have to respond. Not that they ever properly trained us how to do that, mind you, but... So glad I don't have to do that shit anymore. Anyway, service workers are compelled to put on a smile and a cheery voice while being a punching bag for others, having no way to vent out their own distress. Such stress would naturally accumulate over time, which resulted in their heads inflating like balloons, all the while they maintained a facade of serenity. They'd end up exploding once their stress reached a breaking point. From that point, my work was simple. I made a list of clerks whose heads appeared inflated to me and sent that to the company. Those clerks then lost their jobs. The company didn't bother investing any time or effort into shrinking their heads. My work often ends before I can enter the stages of understanding and acknowledgement. I distinctly remember one night I was working as... Well, not one night, but one night that when I was working as a bag boy for a grocery store. It was close to closing. Someone complained, it was like this very affluent looking gentleman who walked into the store, into the frozen aisle, came up to us being myself, as a reminder, a bag boy, and the only person at the cashier who was incidentally my manager at the time. She was chill, by the way. As far as managers go, she's probably the best you could ever get. But he called out to me asking if I could, help him with something. And of course I go, yeah, of course, because that's my job. So he has me go up to the frozen aisle with him. And here I am thinking, am I going to have to reach for something for him? Or is there something that's out of stock or something that I might have to check in the back for? Regular stuff that happens. And I'm subjected to this gentleman going on a long, condescending tangent where he's like, do you see what I'm looking at? And I'm like, the frozen meals? Is like, yeah, do you see this brand? And I'm like, yeah, I could see the brand. What's up? And he's like, do you notice that you guys are out of the vegan option? And I'm like, I can check in the back if we have any in stock if you'd like. And the guy's like, no, you guys have been out of this specific variant of this frozen meal for the past 4 months. And he just keeps going on and on about it. And I, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Does he think I'm gonna, like, call the fucking district manager? Or, like, what? Hey man, this one guy wants this fucking variant of frozen meal. Fucking hell. And I'm expected to respond to that by policy with a smile on my face. Service jobs fucking suck. Simply interpreting the distortion doesn't resolve the fundamental issue. The stress is bound to explode in one way or another. However, such matters didn't concern my clients much. All they cared about was maintaining the abnormal status quo and evading responsibility for the distortion, not the cause behind it. I suppose the same can be said of me. I can't help but keep thinking that we are all missing something important. I believe I'll be chasing after the distortion for a while, as every single thing appears distorted to my eyes. Right now, I am looking into a mirror. Through my eyes, I'm the only one who doesn't appear distorted. In a world full of distorted people, could the one person who remains unchanged be the distorted one? As I look at all the distorted people, the distorted streets, and this distorted city, I come to think that maybe the whole world is distorted. I can't fathom what would happen once the distortion of this world continues and reaches a critical point. Until then, I'll stay ever vigilant for the distortion. I am the Distortion Detective. Looks like we're back in Cougar Town, everyone. You idiot. I quietly murmured, grinding my teeth. Ezra had done it again. I told her numerous times not to ask sensitive questions to the subject of the distortion. Ezra then whispered to me, "Ah! Detective! Detective, what do we do?" Sorry, Chef. My niece isn't very streetwise yet, you see? Oh, you lovely young sprout. What do you mean with detective? Are you seeing stuff again? Poor little thing. So you're just a couple of nutjobs. If you disrupt my business with bollocks again, I'm gonna call security. The master chef yelled. Although this restaurant was too small and shabby for such luxurious titles. Yes, I'll teach my little gal here to behave. Are you insane? Do you really have to say out loud, "Wow, the food here is just as disgusting as the sanitation"? Who taught you to cook? In a small restaurant that's not seeing too many guests? It really did taste horrible. You think we're here to enjoy the food? You're supposed to carefully look around for clues. Just cram the food in your mouth before the chef finds us suspicious. This food has got to be the cause of the disappearance. I bet the revolting taste drove them crazy and made them wander off. I'm cutting your salary. What? By 25%. Oh, detective, please! I took a pipe out of my inner coat pocket. The case may be stuck for the moment, but it should end well somehow. With such optimism, I started smoking. I'm a fixer from District 14, a decently experienced Grade 5 working for 7, the association specializing in intelligence and investigation operations. Okay. Now, how combat ready are you? Anyway, I solve mysteries for a living, though most of these unsolved cases are about the distortion anyway. The city still seems to be mostly clueless about the distortion. I simply jumped into this budding niche earlier than others thanks to my cursed talent, seeing people's distortions. So, what did the chef look like to you, Detective? The lower half of the body was that of a snake. The hands were attached on its tails. It had about 7 tails, if I remember correctly. Ugh! What about their upper body? Was it human? Yep, I could see a human in a filthy chef's uniform. Does that mean the distortion has progressed by about half? Maybe it'll manifest in a week or so. It could very well happen tonight, judging from the circumstances. The mouth on one of the tails was salivating and twitching quite intensely. Anyway, we're dealing with a reptilian, right? Let's see. A Stigma Workshop product could work. That's one of Philip's weapons, I think, right? You always pick expensive gadgets. The pattern of the distortion has been changing lately. The manifestations are getting faster. No, to be precise, the distortion has started to manifest even while people are unconscious. That's right. Their bodies distort in their sleep. Does that coincide with... Well, I guess... That's weird. The Zwei Association gave my office a request. Wait, no, shit. This seems to happen with the people who are half distorted from what I can see. A sloppy monster can only cause sloppy trouble. The Zwei Association gave my office a request. People have been disappearing at night inside a certain hotel in the area the association has been safeguarding. Recording was forbidden in the backstreets of District 14, so there's no video footage available. The hotel only has two entrances, the main gate and the back door through the kitchen. None of the missing guests were seen leaving through the main gate. The hotel wasn't assaulted by a syndicate either, which was obvious considering that the Zwei were in charge of that area. Detective! Maybe something's really up in the kitchen? Its chef was the most distorted person around, so it's plausible. The sun sets and night falls. We infiltrated the hotel restaurant. The ferry I spent a fortune on enters the keyhole and opens the door for us. Sometimes singularities feel much more like monsters than the half-baked creatures born for the distortion. By fairy, does she mean, like, the Bina fairy? Wow, are they having a party or something? What are they eating? Under a red light, skinless hunks of flesh were sitting around the table eating something. The only dish on the table was something that looked like a large leather sack. They each grab something from the sack and eat it. The putrid smell stings my nose. My mind falters for a moment. Turn around. Do not look at the thing they're eating. Don't breathe. It's driving me mad, Detective. It looks so cozy in there. It's like a bedroll. You'll be eaten and turned to manure once you get in that bedroll. Ezra was completely entranced. I smacked her in the chest as quietly as I could. Blech. I gave Ezra a handkerchief so she could cover her nose. Keep it tight. We're heading to the kitchen now. Leaving behind the feast, we crawled toward the kitchen. A long line of people waited in front of it. Those were the people reported to be missing. They entered the kitchen one by one, and then human-shaped flesh hunks walk out, each carrying a leather sack. They bring it to their table and eat from it. The food that bewitches people, huh? What could they be eating, Detective? It's time to find out. Get ready, Assistant. Ezra took a Stigma Workshop sword out of her bag. I pulled out my smoking pipe. The door leading to the kitchen is wide open. People lining up for their sack pay no attention to us. They're simply mumbling to themselves. We proceed slowly. We're going in. I can hear the sound of kitchenware at work. The chef is busy cooking something, holding multiple cooking utensils with the hands that are on their tails. What could they be cooking? What are they feeding those people with? Detective, people are bowing to the chef to show their heads. The chef is splitting them open and taking something out? Doesn't look like a brain. They aren't extracting the brain itself. They're pulling something out of it. Could it be thoughts? How is that possible? That's what the distortion is about. Unseeable things are materialized. That sounds more like abnormalities. That means they're giving away their thoughts to the chef so the chef can cook them, and... The chef also peels their skin to use as the sack. That's pretty wicked. My eyes met the chef's gaze. Hey, you're the insane bunch I saw earlier today. If you want to eat, then line up. The taste's gonna be nothing like the stuff you ate before. What are you feeding those people? I'm giving them what they want. I cook thoughts. People these days don't even know what they're thinking, so they need someone else to cook those thoughts up and feed them. You've already killed people. A case of the distortion that's capable of murder would be, according to the standards our office set up, a risk level 3 distortion. Kill? They aren't dead, they're having a feast, don't you see? Ordinary food isn't enough to make people happy anymore. You gotta know who you are, what kind of world you're living in to truly savor the flavor. This is almost like a cheap urban myth. You've gone too far. Ah, detective! The fleshy things in the restaurant all came in here! You just haven't tried it yet. I'll show you how your thoughts taste. Ezra, take them down. The Stigma Workshop sword emits an orange glow. The wire on its blade heats up. Each time Ezra swings the sword, one of the hunks of flesh falls to the floor. The heated wire leaves beautiful symbols through the sections it slices, a trademark feature of Stigma Workshop's products. The smell of burnt meat soon fills the kitchen. A sentient case of the distortion that willingly harms others is ultimately subjected to termination. We sometimes encounter distortions that we can't take down on our own, but most of them still be dealt with in some manner. This kind is especially simple. Have you tried your own cooking then? Self-contradiction. Distortions that damage others while claiming to care for them are bound to face irony. So you're feeding others with a dish you haven't even tried yourself? What makes you so confident in its taste, My cooking has to be tasty. All the customers look sad and sulky even when I serve them with the most delicious food before. It's because they didn't think for themselves. You can tell if the food is tasty just from a person's face? Someone who doesn't try their own cooking isn't a real chef. Fine! I'll eat it! I'll eat my own food! There we go. That's the spirit of a true chef. The chefs split open their own head. They put their hand into the brain and pulled out something glowy. As soon as the chef was done taking all the thoughts out, they collapsed onto the floor. Just like that, the chef passed away before they could taste their own thoughts. Jesus. Detective, I took care of them all. I'm done with my share too. Should we contact the Vi Association now? Yeah, just write up a short report. They won't believe all this fuss about cooking thoughts anyway. I'll go get some sleep first. Got it. Good morning, Detective Moses. You're a bit later than usual today, huh? Yeah. The line at the pan was long today. Guess everyone wants to check it out since it's the first to open in the north of the city. Oh, pan. Did you get some for me too? Yeah, got one for you just in case. You like mustard, right? Mustard flavor's great. Oh, the Vi sent us a reward just now. That quick? It only took them a day. I bet they scamped the paperwork. Anyway, to sum up this case, it was about an unappreciated cook who wanted to bring joy to the people in their own twisted way. It was a good story. We've had to deal with the distortion on our own a lot more often these days, now that I think about it. Why are the Wings and other associations so passive about it? Monsters are actually appearing. Because none of them were noteworthy enough to even be an urban plague. Well, the pianist being the sole exception. Still, shouldn't someone do something about this? It's like a ticking time bomb. I bet a lot more people died as syndicates than to the distortion. By the way, you're not actually going to cut my salary, are you? That stupid chef's food really was the cause. Psst. Try using that good memory for something better. I can hear you. What the next chapter holds. This room is breathing. I can feel its respiration, its beat. No one knows how many people this room has devoured. A dying elderly person stands before me. A lonely old person whose breath is fainter than the room's. Forgotten by others, this aged person has brought and taken in people. As the doddering one faded from everyone's memories, so too did the people they took in. A detective office for unsolved cases located in a 3-story building somewhere in the streets of District 14. It's a mystery how people manage to find their way to my humble office. There's rumors of a haunted alleyway. People who pass by it disappear. How do they disappear exactly? Ezra asked curiously. No one knows who disappeared or how. All we know is that someone disappeared somehow. Then it's either a memory manipulator or a reality warper. But detective, I thought reality warpers only existed in your theories. This might as well be our opportunity to see one for the first time. What's this all about? It's just our jargon. Where did they go missing, by the way? Ezra changed the topic before the client could ask further. Somewhere around the Plaza of Cherished Hopes. That's not too far from here. How did you know that people went missing? Used vehicles and objects were found abandoned in the street, like bicycles and cars. And most of all, the furniture in my attic was sorted as if someone had been living there until today. That means one of your family members has disappeared. Huh? Well, there's only 3 people in my family, and they're all fine. Me, my husband, and my child. We'll see if we investigate it. What if there really was another family member I've forgotten, like you said? And if they're dead, the culprit should be killed. That's rather stern. Well then, we should start discussing the request fee. Ezra's eyes sparkled as she spoke. I left the financial management of our office to her. She has enough wits to figure out how serious or tough a request will be, so I can trust her to lead negotiations like this. I headed out to the terrace while Ezra and the client were busy bargaining. I smoked from my pipe, feeling the acrid breeze of the back streets. Still, this air is much cleaner compared to my messy atmosphere during the smoke war. And that's another smoke war veteran. Distorted creatures walk the streets as always. Wondering how long I'll be doing this, I puffed tobacco smoke. Detective! I've been writing the contract! The client went back to her home. Plaza of Cherished Hopes, was it? Get ready. Yes, Chief. Did I bring the usual gadgets? Ezra asked as she stuffed equipment into her dimensional bag. Sure. I walk along the street with Ezra. The time is 2 p.m. Ta-da! Here we are at the Plaza of Cherished Hopes. What do we do now? Wait till night falls? This case appears to be a location-type distortion, judging from the client's description. A powerful distortion can affect its surroundings as well, assimilating nearby objects into it. We should look for any distorted buildings. But only you can see those weird buildings, Detective. What can I do? See if there's abandoned bikes around here, maybe. Windows with eyes, apartments floating in the air, doors with teeth, rooms filled with water. There are a lot more distorted buildings than it seems. It would be quite a sight if they manifest all at once. Now, which building to investigate first? I don't have any specific criteria set in mind. Some deduction and intuition are all it usually takes to figure it out. This one is a case of the distortion that devours people whole. The victims are soon forgotten by others. Why were they attracted to that distortion? I need the profiles of the missing people. But if no one knows who disappeared, it'll be difficult to figure out the common traits. Ezra, look for a place around here that provides goods or services for free. What? For free? Does that kind of place even exist? Preferably a place where people who don't have a job would go. And that is why it's easier to figure it out. The distortions of this city are actually rather simple to understand. Ah, there it is! A place called Lumiere's Soup Kitchen. Is it sponsored by anyone? No, it seems to be run by an individual. Lead me there. People who are destined to be forgotten in the city will naturally be attracted to free meals. Isn't this a photo studio? What? It looks like a worn-out tent, though? It's a distortion. Does that really look like a photo studio to you, Detective? Mm-hmm. An age studio. So this is the soup kitchen, right? Yep, the description says they give away free meals to children or the elderly who are too poor to afford anything else. Do we use ferry to enter? Huh? Don't you know how expensive it is to recharge the ferry? It's just an ordinary tent cab. All we gotta do is walk in. I asked because I'm seeing a door sealed with lock. I don't like how you talk back. I'll be cutting off your salary. What? I'm just kidding. Are you having too much fun with that? It takes my heart, even if it's a joke. Say, should we wait till night? We can interfere with the distortion that's manifested this much already. What are we waiting for, then? Hold on. You shouldn't just barge into a closed-off section of someone else's mind. I walked up to the door and gently knocked on it. Soon enough, the door was unlocked. Let's get inside. What did you just do? The entrance opened up on its own. I simply showed courtesy. You told me not to use the ferry or anything, so all I could do was knock on the locked door. A photo studio set up inside a wooden building. The whole building exudes the smell of hardwood, and large frames fill up the walls. Wow! It's much bigger on the inside? Now I see why you said it looks like a photo studio, Detective. I guess it's visible to you now. Could those photos on the walls be the missing people? Perhaps. Each frame held a picture of corpses. Various photographs of dead people. One common feature is that they all died indoors. That's a good face. This room is breathing. I can feel its respiration, its beat. No one knows how many people this room has devoured. A dying elderly person stands before me. Where are we at? Chapter 3. I started late, so it's fine. Forgotten by others, this aged person has brought and taken in people. As the doddering one faded from everyone's memories, so too did the people they took in. Not a single person knows them. They were here dying all alone. This is a place of memorial. A person whose head turned into a camera greeted us from behind. The 4 lenses on their head rotated disorderly, fixing their gaze onto me. Yikes! Surprisingly, Ezra fell on the floor. Surprised, Ezra fell on the floor. I remember each person in their photograph. I take pictures of them and frame them. Who are you? I'm a photographer. I believe I should be the one asking who you two are, in fact. This is Moses the Distortion Detective, and I'm the talented sidekick Ezra. She speaks with confidence, revealing our identity so shamelessly. We're fixers. We actually got a request about recent cases of disappearance. So they do realize that some people have gone missing. What's the point of it all, though? They were already treated like invisible people even before they disappeared. Did you lure them here with free meals to kill them? Ezra questions the person while looking at them with suspicion. No, I didn't. I'm simply remembering the people who are bound to be forgotten, like Mrs. Agnes over there. I take pictures of them so that they can be memorialized in this room. The old person standing before us must be Agnes. She's staring at the pictures hanging on the wall, letting out heavy breaths. There's so many people who die alone. I realize that as I worked, so I want to remember them. What, we're kidnapping people? No, not at all. My work was accompanied by an awful stench. When its neighbors report the smell, I go and retrieve the body. So you were a mortician who usually dealt with people that died lonely deaths? Yes. My work was to look for such bodies in the streets of District 14 and direct funerals for them, as part of the welfare plans of N-Corp's Nest. I've arranged funerals for 253 people. Not a single mourner showed up at all of them. I decided to take one last photograph of the dead before I retrieved their bodies, so that at least I could remember them. So you weren't running the soup kitchen from the beginning? I got fired. N-Corp's Nest said they don't need a useless undertaker like me. It's always fucking N-Corp, I guess. Funerals are for the living, after all. I'd meet the same fate, since I don't have anyone to remember me. For a life to be meaningful, the memories have to be passed on somehow. So we've decided to remember each other. Remember that we existed and lived in the city. You were distorted. What you've been doing is kidnapping people coming to your tent for free meals, nothing more. You aren't one to decide whether they'll die alone or not. It's obvious! It's so apparent that they'll all die in their own rooms, abandoned and forgotten by all. We'll remember each other, and will be forgotten in peace. We have the right to not be neglected by everyone so ruthlessly. And rob the people who still do remember them of their memories. You just kidnapped people who were in the same shoes as you, because you yourself were afraid of being forgotten. You took away their chances to be remembered. The lenses on their heads started rotating all of a sudden. Wheeet! I dodged to the side as soon as I heard the sound of something starting to run. Snap. I fell on my knees and faltered on the floor. My whole body feels numb and sharp pain strikes my head. Detective! Stay away from the lens! Don't let it take a full picture of you! The sound of the lens rotating and the film being reloaded can be heard. When it takes a photo of someone, it draws out something from that person. I feel a acute twinge all over my body as if numerous spikes were stabbing me. I remember a few that inflicted this kind of pain. Ezra, I'm putting up a smoke screen! Yes, Chief! I took out the smoke pipe from my coat and blew it out as hard as possible. Ah, she's running a smoke build! Splendid! The smoke covers the whole room. The camera flash goes off in random directions with each snap. Detective, what are we gonna do now? The type that shouldn't be allowed to see. I mustn't let it contain us in its sight. What's in your bag today? The usual. Stigma Workshop sword, Alice Workshop gloves, Corey gloves, Nestor hammer, and... throw the Corey gloves at me. Got it! Only Ezra can see me through the thick smoke. A pair of sky blue gloves flew across the room and I snatched them right away. I put on the gloves and slammed the wall with my hand. The wall begins to freeze over. I took a deep breath in through my pipe. The smoke that had filled the room is sucked back into the pipe. A shiny wall of ice reveals itself. The lens flashed, taking a picture of its own reflection on the icy wall. The photographer fell down, cracks showing up on its head and lenses. You made others be forgotten because you didn't want to sink into oblivion alone. Perhaps, maybe I was the one who had completely lost their chance to be remembered after all. How many people have you locked in here? 57. Can you recover them? Yes, I can. Then your life is spared at least. Bring them back now. But who will be there to remember me now? We will. Thank you. The photographer's head returned to normal, only a single eye retaining the shape of a lens. That's kind of cool. studio regressed to a tent now full of people. The distortion was solved. We found the missing family member. He's the one, right? The client doesn't look too happy. Oh. Yeah. My father's back. Holy shit, Project Moon fan reading. I have to do it at some point, yeah? Alright. No wonder I forgot. Well then, shall we transact the remainder? Ezra counted the money with a smile while the client and her father headed back looking depressed. No one would welcome the outcome of this request. They'd have much preferred to just forget about the people who eventually made it back. They'd murmur to themselves about how they wish those people to disappear forever. I heard later that 58 people's worth of smoke quietly billowed out of crematoriums in the backstreets of N-Corp's nest one day. And I simply remember. Damn. Jesus. Living in N-Corp fucking sucks, bro! Greetings, Dr. Moses. It's been a while. An unwelcome guest visited me. An associate fixture in Section 2 of the 7's Southern Branch. And my former assistant, Hee-Jun. Their eyes are just as arrogant as I remember. Must feel good to be playing in the big leagues way above me, doesn't it? Is Leviathan translated yet? Officially? No. Unofficially? Yes, and I read it last week. Hello, Hee-Jun Sanbe. Ezra, you tactless dork. I hope you realize how much you're looking down on us by now. What are you doing here, heading north all the way up here from the south part of the city? Must be a complete mess down there with L-Corp collapsing. You're sharp as always, Doctor. I'm actually here because of that. Right. I want to recommend it to friends out of Korea. You can read it unofficially translated, yes. What? Look, I'm just too old to get myself involved with wings. The distortion. You can still see it, right? I would have closed this office otherwise. I wonder how I appear to you then. Snobby prick always asking questions I'm not comfortable with. Well, your mouth has shown up, it seems. Perhaps because it's actually going to be zipped up soon enough? I actually can't see their face at all, other than their two eyes floating in the air. You haven't changed at all. Don't you need some funds? Do I look like I'm in a financial crisis? Is that Yesod floor theme 1 blessing my ears? That's Netsack, actually. But if you want, I can switch over to it. Then why else would you be doing work as silly as the Distortion Detective? I see. It's because you still can't forget about what you did back then. You still regret that, don't you? That's enough! Shut up, Hee-Jun Sanbe! Ezra grabbed Han Hee-Jun by the collar. The uncanny smile in their eyes still wouldn't go away. Let them speak on. Ezra and I were the only ones to survive your rampage that day. You are essentially responsible for our lives, Doctor. What do you want me to do, bite my tongue and die? I can't have you die on us so easily now. You still owe us so much debt. Get to the point. Why did you come all the way here from the south? I want you to head down there for a while. The southern branch is dealing with troubling incidents that are suspected to be cases of the distortion. We need your ability, Doctor. And please stop with your shabby attempts to solve your cases. What we want is the distortion manifesting in its whole. Don't try to restore them. Just leave them be until they fully distort. What? Is the 7 into human experiments now? I suppose you could put it that way. I have reserved 2 warp tickets departing from N-Corp's Nest in 2 months. So take the train and visit our associate office once that time comes. Agony. I never used nutsack, so that tricked me. I didn't either. I used him once, and I kicked Bremen's ass so fucking bad that the rest of the fight was just playing Nutsack's theme, which was great. Is it a request directly assigned from the 7 Association? Yes, it's an Urban Nightmare class. You're free to deny it, of course. You don't care too much about belonging to associations, after all. But you might be able to meet a certain person at the end of this request. Leave the tickets here and sod off. I look forward to seeing you, Doctor. Hee-Jun left, once again smirking with her eyes. Ezra! Throw some salt at the door or something. We don't have any salt in the office, though? Should I go buy some? You know what? I gotta buy some. I knew this day would come. The office feels like a devastated war zone after that snob swept away. I keep smoking until the evening, fighting the memories of my past. Ezra, bring me a map of the city. Yes, Chief. But we don't have an officially printed map here. One sec, please. I'll try drawing one up. She's passionate in weird areas, and that's what makes her fit to be my assistant. Here, it's done. I made it using Picture Store. You call this a map? Well, it works! Literally made in fucking MS Paint, Jesus. We live in District 14, which belongs to N-Corp's Nest. Taking a warp train is the only feasible way to get to District 11 and K-Corp's Nest. Notice the lack of 26. Although they do have a 0 from what it looks like. I frankly want nothing to do with the white tie pictures in the south, but at the end of the day, I have no choice but to go. All because I committed an irreversible misdeed. 2 months later, huh? Hee-Jun-Xianbei said this was related to L-Corp. Then why aren't we just going straight to District 12 where L-Corp used to be? I heard L-Corp's nest has already fallen into absolute anarchy. They probably called us to stay in a safe place that's relatively close to it. The warp platform in L-Corp's nest likely stopped operating anyways. Does that mean this takes place during the Library of Ruina? Interesting. This was updated concurrently with Ruina. Ah. Detective, are you really gonna drop solving distortions once we get there? Are we just going to kill them? That's not up to me to decide. It'll depend on the severity of the distortion. But what if we ran into a distortion that could be reversed if we tried? We can think about that later. There's still time, so let's do our work as usual for now. Got it! I'll fetch your next request. 7:30, I need to sleep. Goodbye. I hope to see you again sometime soon. I'll be streaming Limbus on Friday. I'll be streaming Barotrauma tomorrow if you're interested in that. Okay, it's been an hour, and I've read about 4 chapters. And there's like 46, right? So after a month and a half. I don't think I'm in any rush to be reading up on this considering it's been discontinued, yeah? I sincerely hope that this doesn't... that, I'm not spoiled in some way when I play Limbus, but... oh well. I'm in every stream yet none. Oh. Oh! It's been a week since Sanhee-jun stirred up a storm in my head. There's no point in being ambivalent about going there, and I know that I have no better option. I have no other option. What am I agonizing for, then? Detective, this request is about a high school. Ezra spoke in a cheery tone as usual. School? Was it requested by its faculty or the principal? No. The student here is our client. Hello, my name is Meryl. The girl shyly standing behind Ezra introduced herself. One of her legs is composed of numbers. What's your school? I'm not sure if a student from the backstreets even has enough money to make a request to our office. Detective! Actually, she's a client. I mean, a student from a private high school inside N-Corp's nest. A student from a private school in the nest. The allowance these kids regularly get from their parents should be more than enough to pay us. I'm willing to play those rich kids in their little detective games. Play with those rich kids in their little detective games as long as the request fee is paid. So, what problem does our young client want us to solve? Actually, something strange is happening in our school. An important exam is ahead of us, and everyone's on edge preparing for college admissions. High school students in the nest should aim for universities in the nest as a matter of course. The college scholastic ability test held in most nests every year. This one exam determines a myriad of things. Getting low scores and going to a college in backstreets won't do you any good. Entering any college in the nest is pretty much the baseline requirement for joining a wing. So the strange events happening in the school must be disturbing your studies, and you want us to resolve it, right? It's not just about my grades. My friends got weird. The whole school is weird. And the students. And the teachers, too. We need you to let us know what kind of strange occurrences are taking place before we can be of any help. We won't go back home at all. The classes won't end. All of the students? Yes, all of them. What about you? Only I could escape. I was in the classroom when I came to my senses. It was past midnight. The teacher was watching us from the front of the class, and all my friends were absorbed in studies, solving problems in workbooks. Aren't parents worried about their children not coming back home? Aren't parents worried about their children not coming back home? Ezra asked, confused by the apparent strangeness. It's Sun Young soon enough. Our school's average scores for the mock test made the top 10 in our nest. Fun fact, chat. I never took the SAT. For my non-American friends in the chat, the SAT is a standardized test that's in the United States that high schoolers typically take. I think middle schoolers in circumstances can take it too. I don't remember though. So I didn't take the SAT, or there was like an alternative, the ACT I think it is. I didn't take either. However, I did take AP exams, which are AP are basically getting preemptive college credit in high school or even middle school. And the exams are basically like, yep, you qualify. When you go to college, you can skip that, basically. But never an SAT. Still got a job, though. The parents must have been okay with however the school treated their kids as long as their grades were improving. Hey guys, do you think this is a commentary on something? How long has this anomaly been going on? The last thing I remember before I lost myself was 2 months ago. It was the day when the school announced that they're making a scholarship class. They said the students with the highest grades would be selected. A distortion that has lasted for 2 months. We should go there and see what's going on ourselves. Ezra, we're heading into the nest. Yes, Chief. I'll get the picture license and the association certificate. I don't really feel like staying in N-Corp's nest any longer than necessary. A place full of buildings painted in pure white. I'd end up going crazy in no time if I lived there. The squarish 5-story school building is also in white. Through the white gate is a white schoolyard. The school is dead silent. Then something foreign catches my eye. A red number floating on the rooftop of the school. 5. Meryl, what is that number on top of the school building? Ah, that shows how many days are left until this year's final mock exam. It's painted in a menacing blood red. But, Detective, the number's white just like the rest of the school, though. It's a distortion. Red liquid drips from the number sign. Are there any procedures for us outsiders to take before entering? Wait, no. Are there any procedures for us outsiders to take before entering? There are, but I don't think anyone cares right now. When we enter the school building, a noise can be heard. Scritch, scratch. The noise grows louder and more frequent. Scritch, scratch, scribble, scribble, scritch, scratch, scribble, scribble, scratch, scribble, scribble, scritch, 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 scratch, scribble, scribble. You have no fucking idea how hard it is to say that. It is goddamn irritating to say anything that has the letter S in it. With these fucking braces on. It hurts my head. What is this grating noise? It's the sound of the students in each class solving problems on worksheets. They press the pencils against the paper so hard when they write. Suffering succotash! Such sacrilegious statements. Ah! I looked through the windows of a class designated 1-7. 40 students had their heads fixed inches above their desks, only their hands moving briskly. What do those students look like to you, Detective? Amalgamations of numbers in school uniforms. Yeesh, that means the distortion has progressed by a lot, right? They're pretty much distorted already. What do you mean by distorted? That means the strange events you described are happening in real life. Something showed up in the end of the corridor. It was a moving wall big enough to blockade the corridor completely. Warning! Warning! Students who do not study will face disciplinary action. Detective! It's a distortion! I can see it too! A formula is written on the wall. A distortion made of math problems. This world is never short of oddities, isn't it? This one seems to be a calculus problem. Ezra, can you solve that problem for us? No. Why'd I even bother asking? Accounting is the only kind of calculation she's good at. How about you, Meryl? Well, I'm more of a humanities major. Ugh. Behind us is a dead end. We have to break through anyhow. All we have to do is solve that math problem on the wall, but no one was up for it. I took out my ballpoint pen and wrote down an answer on the approaching wall. Answer the math question, and the math question is: do not go home until you've finished reading the value of E. Fucking hell. Wrong answer. You will attend supplementary lessons. Now! Knew it. The wall pressed against us, so this is how it ends. I should get someone smarter to be my assistant next time. My consciousness fades. When I woke up, I found myself sitting at a desk in the classroom wearing the school's uniform. I need an image of that right now. Older woman in a school uniform. Students around me are still busy solving problems on the worksheets. How much time has passed? A red number 30 floats at the center of the class. The last one I saw read 5. Does that mean we traveled back to the past? Could this be a case of the distortion that can reverse the flow of time? A sudden burst of force pressed my head from behind. My face was slammed right into the desk. Solve the problems. Could you imagine the distortion that could control time? I'm trying to think if anyone we fought qualified. I don't think we fought a distortion that can manipulate time. Unless I'm like just straight up blanking. I don't think we have. You'd argue Pluto? He's a reality manipulator, but I don't think he has been capable of time travel. Like, he probably could fuck with time a little bit. There's also a funny Dots Man. Dots Man doesn't make you actually travel in time. He just makes you perceive alternate realities. I guess he is a time traveler insofar as, like, Mandem. Even then, that's a little generous to his power. Because what I took away from that is that Regillius was experiencing those alternate realities, like, in his head, as if they were real. Which, for all we know, they were. I skimmed through the worksheet on my desk. 17. Blending 3 humans in a mixer generates 10 units of energy. Given these conditions, what is the optimal solution to dismember 2 humans to generate 15 units of energy? I already fucking told you guys about how my math classes went in college. I don't want to fucking think about it. 23. Chol-Su wants to be an artist. The wing Chol-Su has to go to does not need any artist. Given these conditions, how many dreams should Chol-Su kill? 45. There is a cube composed of minuscule humans. The cube factory must meet a certain quota each day. An eyeball can be squeezed for a hexagon. When O is the outer center of the left eye, how many right eyes are needed to make a cube with side lengths that are 4 meters long? Samsung lobotomy procedure. A distorted school giving out distorted problems. They must constantly print out meaningless problems that'll be solved without any significance. Detective, I have no idea what any of these problems say! Ezra's seat was right next to mine. She's looking at me, her face on the verge of tears. I barely lift my head and look at the number again. 17. So that was in minutes, not days. Let's wait until the exam starts. Just write down random things on the worksheet for now. Got it. A voice could be heard again. You have 10 minutes until the mock exam starts. You must strive to solve as many problems as possible. This is all for the sake of your future. The problems you solve now will be your weapons later in life. The number reached 0. Ding dong, ding dong. Ding dong, ding dong. Commencing the mock exam. With that announcement, the school crumbled. All that remained were the students on a white plain. Then a tall staircase rose in the middle of the field. A trophy was placed on top of it. The exam had begun. Ah! Detective! Detective! Is this a distortion too? I can't believe this. It seems it's time to update my information on the distortion phenomenon. Keep it together, Detective. We gotta run for now. It appears that a massive world of its own can be created when the interests and desires of a large group of people coincide. This is my first time seeing a distortion occur at this scale. That's scary. Mass distortion. This entire school is distorted. No, it's not the school building itself. Every student in it is distorted. All the students run toward the staircase, trying to climb up it. Some try to nail down the students ahead of them, while others push away the students behind them. The numbers add and subtract each other. They multiply and divide by each other. Decimal points pour out of their bodies. This is a war zone for a very vicious battle. Guys, do you think this is an allegory for something? A war where everyone recognizes each other as numbers. No other words are needed. In this scene of numerical violence, they must add to themselves and divide others. The problems they've solved so far become weapons to kill each other. When a student assaults another with numbers, the numbers on the victim's head fall off. The number students won't attack us. Perhaps lowly numbers sitting at the bottom of the staircase like us aren't worth their attention. Hey, Fixers! I'm up here! It's Meryl. Her distortion progressed much more in the short span of time we were separated from her. She was already halfway to the top of the stairs. Meryl, you should come back down here! Ezra yelled. Meryl, there's no reason to climb those stairs. This is a war, a gamble. You're fighting against each other with knowledge and grades on the line. If you don't climb the stairs, you'll be safe from it. No, I'll stay here. We all agreed on this to decide who gets to advance in scholarship class. Meryl replied, killing other students. You're taking part in this massacre? I'm already halfway there, though? I can go farther! A 7 struck Meryl's head out of nowhere. The numbers in Meryl's head scattered about as she fell to the floor. I can hear the sound of numerous students hitting the floor. The noises of students killing each other. Ezra has turned away from the sight, looking at the floor. I silently continue to watch the staircase. A student with a giant number for a head reached the top of the stairs at last. The exam is over. Knowledge and grades will be redistributed to students based on how high they are in the staircase. The top 20% will be designated as a scholarship class and receive the honor of representing our school. With a flash, the school returned to normal. The students were all in their seats as if nothing had happened. I could see Meryl among them. Meryl, are you alright? Ezra ran toward Meryl to check on her. Meryl gave us a blank stare, muttering meaningless words. She's had everything taken from her. This is absurd! It was a consequence of Meryl's own choice. There's no need for you to feel guilty about it. But... let's just head back. You couldn't solve this distortion. We can't expect to solve every problem in the world. I took out my pipe from its inner coat pocket. Why are distorted people all so irrational? They're all so extreme! They distort because their minds are driven into a corner. That impatience leads to leaps in their logic. 40% of this school's graduates are said to be living in seclusion, having failed to enter any college. However, the scholarship class demonstrated an unprecedented amount of successful admissions to prestigious universities, bringing the school fame and many more inquiries for entrance. The students who have successfully climbed up the stairs killing each other will grow into feathers of the wings. Fluttering those wings, the steady soars. And oh, shit. I hate this, actually. This is a good chapter, but I hate this. Once again, Chad, I ask you, is this an allegory for something? Alright, we've got a couple more chapters on us. That's very upsetting. Anyway. We have 1 month until we leave for District 11. I've accepted taking Han Hee-jun's offer to be an effective truth at this point, and I imagine it will be a long trip. We might never come back, even. We're shopping at the Workshop Boulevard today. That means you also get to eat outside, right? We're not going there for leisure. I know! Our purpose of visit is to request the workshops for the equipment and gadgets we need in an office. Ezra spoke with excitement. This could be our very last chance to shop. I know that too. We gotta leave in a month. You can stay here if you want to. Just can't let you eat all the treats down there by yourself, though. The workshops in the boulevard treat various necessaries and supplies. as well as equipment for fixers. Therefore, it's important to pick the right workshops according to your needs. Of course, workshops try to advertise themselves as well. Some become known through word of mouth. Despite how complicated it can be to navigate the products at a workshop, I don't expend any effort toward looking for adequate workshop goods myself. My assistant Ezra here is a maniac for workshop products. She seems to have a peculiar tendency to prefer more expensive workshops, but she does a lot of research on various gears and gadgets, and the ones she purchases end up being quite reliable. She's pretty much stuffed her personal collection of gadgets in the dimensional bag by now. Detective, the workshops I frequent are all sold out or out of request slots. I wonder what's up. I don't know. Maybe the fingers are out wreaking havoc on some place we haven't seen. So, have you failed to get any of the equipment we wanted? Yepper, I have. We're not going to get the gadgets in time for our request for them any later. Ezra mumbled. I walked the streets, believing that things would work out anyhow. Detective! Behind us! Yes. A bunch of nuisances are after us. Could they be from a syndicate? Maybe an office of fixers? Or perhaps a wing? Whichever they belong to, they're all essentially the same. They want to extract information from me. Well, to have a friendly chat with the fellows following us into the streets like this, we need to go deeper into the alleys. We slowly walk through the complex alleyways, intertwined like a maze. Steel doors are lined up on the walls, guarding residences that don't appear to be well maintained. Time is noon. The noise of pedestrians fades away, while the footsteps of our pursuers become louder. We've arrived at a dead end on an empty lot. This is our favorite spot for conversations. An obscure corner in the streets with no witnesses. And even if a witness were to exist, they wouldn't be able to go anywhere from here. Now, what could you be wondering about, friends? So much as to follow us all the way here. I took out my pipe from its inner coat pocket and held it between my lips. That's a lot of people. I'm seeing around 30 of them. They're all wearing green suits. The distortion didn't seem too bad. All of them are holding weapons like bats and knives. One in a green fedora walks up to us and starts speaking. Are you Moses, the fixer from Cookie Street? Yes, I am. I answered with a smile. We'd like to purchase that long smoking pipe you're carrying. This was unexpected. Someone already has intel on my pipe. For how much? Ezra asked with sparkling passion in her eyes. 100 million on. Nah, this thing's worth at least 500 million. There's no way we're negotiating for a price that low. Oh, this thing's worth at least 500 million. So there's no way we're negotiating for a price that low. Right, detective? Ezra said in a rather disappointed tone. Not even 500 million on could buy it. This is essentially part of me, you see. I never fathomed the idea of selling it to anyone. Who told you about this pipe, by the way? That's unfortunate. We were looking forward to a graceful trade. The one in the fedora walked back and blended into the group. Ezra, can you handle them all on your own? Yes, Chief. Ezra yelled as she pulled her dimensional bag on the ground. Street combat loadout! In response to Ezra's command, the Nestor hammer flew into her hand as she got equipped with Alice Workshop gloves. The group of 30 people started charging at us all at once. Ezra blocks off the cramped passage to the empty lot by herself as she takes on the gang one by one. Alice Workshop gloves can accelerate the movements of her hands by 5 times the velocity. Activating the gloves, she swings her Nestor hammer, a small one-handed hammer suited for combat in confined spaces such as the alleyway we're in right now. The hammer is capable of delivering impact to a large area of the object its head comes into contact with. When the Nestor hammer hits one hoodlum in green with such accelerated force, it punches a wide hole through his chest. She violently swings her other hand to crush the jaw of another ruffian rushing at her. She breaks the bones and smashes the flesh of one mobster at a time, but not even her superior physique could impede all of them from getting through the passage. Most of all, Ezra's not even being serious in the first place. Please take care of the ones I missed, Detective. I'm cutting your salary. What? I let out a crimson-red breath. The smoking pipe emitted a scarlet glow before assuming the shape of a sword. That... Smoke builds are eternal. Ow! What, coward? Limbus is off maintenance. I literally don't have... I don't have shit. What do you want me to do? Like... Damn, it's like, look, I'll open it up and I'll show you. The game client must be... You gotta be fucking kidding, right? It's not gonna let me update. Fucking bitch. We'll roll she Faust right now. Did that replace the fucking Dawn banner? I imagine it would replace the Dawn banner, no? Anyway. I grabbed its handle, prepared to talk. I positioned myself and stabbed the blade into the neck of a thug running at me. With elegance and composure in every step, I puncture a red hole in the body of each gangster coming at me. The strong sense of blood soon filled the alleyway and the lot. Detective! That fedora guy's trying to run away! Ezra yelled at me, her body covered in blood. I breathed a violet breeze into my pipe. The pipe began flailing around as it elongated. It soon shifted into a whip with purple thorns growing out of it. I lashed out my pipe to snatch the ankle of the person in fedora. They stumbled and fell flat on their face into a pool of blood. Ezra drags the fallen mobster and drops him in front of me. Tell me, who gave you the information about my pipe? I was trying to avoid using it too often so I wouldn't draw unnecessary attention. I'm afraid I cannot say. Ezra, go have some nice heart-to-heart with this. Go have some nice heart-to-heart talk with this fellow. Leaving the interrogation to Ezra, I smoked alone in the empty lot. Not so long after, Ezra came back with a person whose face was now masked pretty badly. Detective, this one seems to have a lock on their brain or something. I can't get them to spill the beans no matter what I do. I lifted the head of the mobster and took a look at the back of their head. The tiny logo of J-Corp is brandished on it. Indeed, it's locked with singularity. The client must have spent quite a bit of money. Still, there's a way, as long as it's not the more expensive type. I exhaled a white puff through the pipe. The smoke coils around the mobster's body. Now, take a deep breath in. They began to tremble as they inhaled the smoke. You're not acting out of your own will anymore. You're obeying my will. The lock will obstruct your thoughts no longer. They slowly began to speak at last. Yuria Atelier. Hey, that's the... I think that's like the... So I had the wiki opened because I was trying to look up when this came out. And I clicked on that Yuria character. I didn't read anything about them. But it just now occurred to me that it's the same Atelier from the Atelier Workshop. You know, Roland's fucking counter die card, I think. I want to study the mechanisms of that pipe. Said it's okay for us to kill us as long as we brought the thing. Ezra's eyes were wide open, shocked by what she just heard. Ezra, do you know anything about Yuria Atelier? Of course. It's a premium workshop only accessible to people with their membership. It's probably one of the top 10 workshops in District 14, I think? The workshop maniac's eyes sparkled as she gave me the explanation. And then why couldn't we join that membership? The conditions are a bit tricky. I don't think they'll accept us. They want to study the mechanisms of my smoking pipe, huh? I am interested in learning how this thing works as well. Do you think that workshop could provide us with the gear we need? Yeah, you bet. They most certainly have the skills. Ezra, lead me to this Yuria Atelier. Let's say hello to whoever tried to get us killed, and take this slug with us just in case. Atelier is just workshop in French. That's just Yuria Workshop and Workshop, respectively. Holy fucking MILF! So yeah, Dawn Banner is over. It's target extraction Gregor now? Well, I wasn't gonna fucking pull on that banner, so... There's like 2 weeks left on the Dark Knight's banner, right? Oh boy, I'm gonna have to ask... I'm gonna have to ask you the best way for me to get as many fucking pool tickets as possible, because... God damn, bro. Name Moses, age 49... ZAM! Affiliation, grade 5 fixer. Hobbies, closing her eyes and indulging in deep thought, cleaning her smoking pipe. Specialties, concentration, quick wits. Birthday, November 30th, that's coming up. Likes tobacco, spending time clearly immersed in thought. Dislikes whiners, impatient people, noise. Name, Ezra, age 28. Grade 3 fixer. Okay, so this is a... This is a Roland case, I guess. You got fucking Greedo Mersault off of my guaranteed 10 pool? Is that the one that you said is like the worst 000 in the game? Oh my god, she's fucking huge. Collecting workshop weapons, snacking on cookies while the detective isn't looking. Specialties, request fee negotiations, hectic brawling. Birthday, January 27th. Likes expensive and powerful weapons, sweets such as sugary coffee and cake. Small animals, houses, ham pang pangs, mustard sandwiches. Dislikes waiting for Moses to finish thinking. It's understandable. Flowers, she's allergic to them. Ezra leads the way, carrying the fedora mobster on her shoulder. She seems excited to visit the esteemed workshop she's never gotten to enter before. The mobster with the smashed face tries to negotiate with us. Hey, don't take me to Yuria, please! She's gonna use me as her test subject, I'm sure of it! Should we really care for the well-being of a crook who tried to kill us? Yeah, just kill me now! I'd rather die here than be brought to that sick bastard! All the more reason to take you to her, then. I answered, smoking from my pipe. Whoa! I used to just take a peek at this place when I walked by, and now we finally get to see what's inside. Is this the place? Seems pretty small for a renowned workshop. A square building about 3 meters tall stood by itself at the center of the street. The small letters written on the workshop's door read, Yuria Atelier. Under that was a kind of instruction that read, please knock only if you are a part of our membership. I read in a catalog that Yuria Atelier is run by one person. That's why it's so small. I assume it only produces goods in small quantities, then. That's not the case, actually. I heard the workshop values both quality and quantity. That's rather suspicious, but before that, how do we get in here now? I could have Ezra break through the door of the sides, but as with most things in the city, you should never judge something by looks alone. The door could very well be armed with some foolhardy security device that melts whoever touches it without authorization. Hey, Fedora, how do I get into this workshop? I like how you've been playing this game so fucking much, you can just get unit instantly, basically. Unfortunately, I'll be rocking my Hey Show Faust for now. How was I saying? You gotta have the membership. Well, do you have it? Our syndicate took on the job so that we could get it. How did you meet Yuria, then? Detective, actually, Yuria Atelier chooses its own clients. The workshop sends membership invitations to potential patrons, but we haven't gotten anything yet. What kind of stupid criteria makes this Fedora-wearing moron eligible, not us? You tell me! Fedora, go open that door. What? No way! Who knows what kind of security system it might have? How about this, then? If you do as I say, I won't hand you over to Yuria. You promise? Sure. Fedora walks over to the door. They broke into a cold sweat, hesitating to touch the door before finally reaching out to the door handle. Nothing happens yet. They turn the handle and slowly pull it. The door opens, revealing a staircase leading underground. It seems to go pretty deep down. I knew the workshop couldn't be this small. Wow, Detective, I guess the real workshop is down there. She has a 12 rolling skill 1? What do you mean by 12 rolling? 2 coins, 4 base, plus 4. Ah. Hello, Smout XD. Am I free now? Take the lead. Damn it! We walk downstairs. Tremors can be felt coming from below. My instincts tell me that this is no ordinary quiver. Something is approaching us quickly. Detective, what's that? Actually, what is that? A boar? A bear? A giant creature is running towards us. Ow! It's a teddy bear! So cute! Ezra gleefully spoke with a twinkle in her eyes. What it's about to do to us doesn't seem very cute. A giant teddy bear charged at us on all fours. Is that a part of this workshop's security system? Curious. Or perhaps it's... Ezra, stop that thing! Yes! The teddy bear swung its paw at the fedora mobster in front of us, removing the upper half of their body in one clean swipe. Alright. Spicy fist mode! Ezra equipped the mirror workshop gauntlets on both her hands. The impact of Ezra clashing with the teddy bear sent a shockwave through the basement. Ezra's body is augmented through an expensive and unusual procedure. I must say, that teddy bear is impressive in its own right for enduring her sheer strength. Ha! With a shout, Ezra pushed the bear away and activated her gauntlets. G-Corp Singularity is applied to Namir Workshop's gauntlets. The weight of the sphere embedded in the center of the gauntlets can be freely controlled. Ezra raised the weight of her gauntlets and punched the rushing teddy bear in the head. With a loud noise, cotton stuffing burst into the air. Ezra's fist ripped a large hole in the teddy bear's head. She continued to pummel the bear with both her hands, punching even more holes in the teddy bear's body. Cotton stuffing exits the bear and fills the air with each hit, until the bear was torn beyond recognition. I did a good job, right? Ezra spoke triumphantly. You did indeed. The fact that the teddy bear had nothing but cotton inside of it still bothered me. Going further down, we arrived at a large corridor, and what awaited there caught us by surprise. This place is a real piece of work. No wonder we could be invited to that membership. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this much. This whole workshop is the Distortion. Teddy bears of various sizes are moving diligently. This place is like an automated factory. Everything is a fucking distortion. Whoever is running this factory should be avoiding us if they know anything about the work we do. They're using the distortion to operate their workshop, so they obviously wouldn't want it to be solved. You're still cute, though. For you, maybe. At least you have the strength to fend off those teddy bears if they try to kill you. Walking past the industriously working teddy bears, we reach the end of the corridor. A big workbench is placed there. Other than its enormous size and the use of too many vibrant colors, it appears to be a regular workbench. And someone is standing there before it as if she was waiting for us the whole time. Oh my gosh, Yuria! Ezra hopped up and down in excitement. She then took something out of her bag and approached Yuria with a looping stride. What is she trying to do? Autograph this book here, please? Ezra pleaded, bowing her head. I've been collecting autographs of workshop meisters in this book, you see. Yuria approached me, paying absolutely no attention to Ezra. You must be Moses. I was eagerly waiting for you. And your pipe, too. Yuria spoke in a youthful voice. A clear and bright voice. The gleam in her eyes was different from Ezra's. There's plenty of workshop equipment that can change form. But that pipe of yours is fundamentally different. I'm sure you're aware of it. It even modifies one's physical makeup without any surgeries or procedures. When did you get that pipe? How did you learn to use it? I've been looking for such an object for so long. I know, right? Detective Smoking Pipe is so mysterious, right? Ezra chimed in, quickly shoving her booklet back into her bag with her face turning red. How distracting. I never quite expected the talented Meister to be such an arrogant chatterbox. She is not the kind of person I want to be entangled with. You know... Yeah. I met her a couple of times. Fabled tales of her rogues weren't born out of nothing. The weapons she used to brandish and the clothing she used to wear were actually the same sort of equipment as the smoking pipe you're using. Lore? Yuria paused for a moment. I'm sure you could feel it too, maybe vaguely. That smoking pipe resonates with your emotions. So it's an ego. Maybe? She's right. This pipe is nowhere as simple as the likes of a mechanical arm that moves according to command. It resonates with my feelings. It's as if the pipe is part of me. I've been running this workshop not just to earn cash, but to gather information from the area around me. All the places I've been to before were busts. But look at this. Bzzzt. A video starts playing from the screen behind Yuria. It's footage of us fighting syndicate gangs in the empty lot earlier today. Astonished, Ezra covered her mouth with her hands. Recorded footage. You had the audacity to break the taboo of District 14? Are young people these days all bold and brash like you? Yuria went on without a care for our reactions. Behold, your graceful maneuvers and this elegant smoke. I'm about to fall in love. My expectations were right, Moses. You're the one I've been looking for. Scratch that and just tell me, do you know how my pipe works or not? No, I don't. Not yet, anyways. Though I can try to study it now. Perhaps I could even improve it into something greater. If we work together, of course. She is a nuisance for sure, but I need to learn more. I must know more about this power given to me. So how are you going to try studying it? By looking into your mind. I'll need to know you. It takes time to get to know each other. How's this sound, Moses? Are you prepared to show me your heart? Detective? Do you really trust her? I mean, she sounds so suspicious. Ezra yelled in panic. Moses, you're going to trust me no matter what. I know you can see it. Right. What can I do for you then? I answered softly. Detective! Ezra was desperate to make me reconsider. Yuria slowly walked towards me and whispered into my ears. I'll be your assistant. I want to watch you from up close. I'll make gear and equipment just for you. I want to be of help to you. All so you can open up your heart to me. Yuria smiled. I put my hand on my forehead for a moment. This reminds me of some unpleasant memories of the past. I remember meeting someone just like her. I had no other option then, and I have no other option now. The lifeline that descends upon me when there's no way out. The rope I must hold on to. When it snaps. These are the only kind of opportunities that ever come to me. Ezra, we're going back to the office. Yes, Chief. With Yuria. Empty a storage room for her. What? Yuria followed right behind me, while it took Ezra a moment to get moving. The storage room in our office was remodeled to Yuria's personal space. She promised to make equipment for us under one condition, that we take her with us whenever we set off to solve cases. Detective, it's so weird. Why aren't you solving her distortion? She broke the taboo of the district too. Ezra complained as she stuffed Ham Ham Pang Pang's mayonnaise-flavored sandwich in her mouth. I'm simply making use of Yuria's strengths. And I have you to count on, so don't worry. I soothed Ezra. I imagine she's going to be sulky for a while. I, Moses, have no trust in other human beings. I do not trust the words of Yuria, a stranger. I simply trust my eyes. She is not distorted. I do not see any distortion from Yuria. Oh, so she's just like that. That's... I don't know how to feel about that. Three people sat around the dining table for two. It's early in the morning, and Ezra's already glaring at Yuria. She must be irked by this little intruder that popped into our ordinary life. It's curious how you could stare at me for 30 minutes straight, all the while having breakfast. Wouldn't you agree, Detective? Yuria spoke with a smile. You small little thing! Detective Moses. It looks like Ezra's mocking us for our height. That's not... Noises. My head is ringing. The rice is well cooked, and yet I'm losing my appetite thanks to the noisy ruckus those two are causing. This has been going on for a week. I'd hate to have to deal with this every morning for the rest of my life. Quiet! Howie! Blech. They yelped as I kicked them in the shin. Could you two keep it down while we're eating at the very least? Ezra and Yuria nodded. My appetite is finally restored in the fresh serenity. I place the quail egg boiled in soy sauce on warm rice and eat it. The food we bought from Rand's side dish stall, a grocery store that recently opened up near our office, turned out to taste good. I should visit them more often. After finishing the meal, I headed out to the terrace to smoke as per my daily routine. Ezra, do the dishes. Yes, Chief! Listening to the sound of Ezra washing the dishes, I puff out tobacco smoke and look below. Distorted creatures are heading to distorted workplaces as usual. The scenery of the street will forever be the same. Yuria, is the gear all finished? Sure thing. 11 pieces in total, right, Detective Moses? 11 pieces of equipment in just 1 week. That's quite impressive. Besides, the gear was commissioned by Ezra, not me. Likely she must have asked for complex and elaborate gadgets to spite her. Their quality is yet to be demonstrated, but the production speed is certainly on the level of a Meister. Ezra, is that the correct amount? Ezra stops cleaning the dishes for a moment and nods while staring at the plate she's holding. It seems like the two won't even properly talk to each other anytime soon. If you keep refusing to cooperate with each other, I'm cutting your salaries, you two. Ech. I don't mind that, though. I'm not working here for money, after all. Yuria responds nonchalantly. I don't mind that either, Detective. You don't have to pay me at all this month. I can't believe Ezra would go so far as to say that. These two make such a childish pair. I placed my hand on my forehead. I won't care what the hell you do with each other, so just don't let your little feud disturb our work. Yes, got it. We haven't had any noteworthy requests since we took in Yuria. They were all trivial matters where I didn't have to use my pipe, and most of them weren't even cases of the distortion at all. I expected Yuria to be disappointed by this uneventfulness, but she seems hardly bothered. I went downstairs with my pipe still in my mouth and rummaged through the request box. An envelope happens to be waiting for me. I tore it open and read the paper inside. This case smells like a big one. The three of us walked the street together. Do you get requests from companies too? Yuria asks. Companies in the back streets are our most frequent clients, in fact. They love to simply pass the burden of dealing with troublesome incidents onto the offices that specialize in solving them. I answered, holding my pipe between my teeth. Ezra is following us a few steps behind in silence. I suppose I should try to humor her today. We arrived at the company building. It's a rather large enterprise that occupies the entirety of a 10-story building. Perhaps it's a subcontractor of a wing. Ezra and I presented our fixer IDs as well as a letter of request to the lobby, while Yuria showed her workshop union certificate. We received a visitor's pass each and wore them around our necks. The security guard waiting at the elevator confirmed the passes and asked for our destination. Floor 8. Giving a brief answer, we took the elevator up to the floor with written the letter of request. When the elevator doors opened on the 8th floor, someone greeted us. Ah, hello, dear fixers. I've been waiting for you. Here's my business card. The card introduced them as Kang Jin-sil, the section manager of Taeyong Produce Co. I've requested 3 offices about this matter so far, but none of them could resolve it. If this problem isn't fixed in time, I'm gonna get fired and all my subordinates will get sacked too. You don't have to worry anymore. You don't have to worry anymore. Detective Moses over here will elegantly take care of the case for you. Yuria intervened while Ezra still remained quiet. Greetings. I'm Moses from Moses' office, handling mysteries and unsolved cases. May I ask who recommended our office to you? The, Ame office recommended you to us. It said Moses' office should be the perfect fit for this kind of case. Ah, my office. That must be where Kaoru is. The kid likes to complain, but they suddenly care for us quite a bit. Let's get right to the point. And where are the people suffering from the symptoms you described in the letter of request? Those employees are actually in the sleeping chamber on the 4th basement floor, not up here. Sleeping chamber? What is the sleeping chamber doing in a company? Yuria asked curiously. That means this is a corrupt company that forces its employees to work overtime so often they don't get any time to go back home for sleep. I wonder if this is alluding to something that happens in real life. Oops. Ezra replied in a plain tone. Oh my. Well, it's not just us, you see. Most firms do the same these days. Manager Kang appeared rather perplexed by what Ezra said. Please lead the way then. Of course, this way please. We got back at the elevator. Manager Kang hacked their security keycard at the elevator's control panel, revealing a set of buttons that lead to basement floors. This company building goes as deep as 15 floors underground. One could very well run into some hidden ruins at this depth. What kind of produce company goes so deep underground? Ezra asked. I'm afraid I can't answer that much in detail. You can just think of the underground space as our warehouse. Manager Kang answered as he pressed the button to the 4th basement floor. With a jingle, the elevator arrived at its destination. We were met with complete darkness when we stepped out. Oh my! Why is it so dark in here? Because it's where people sleep, duh! Ezra answered Yuria's question again. Manager Kang groped along the wall looking for a light switch, and soon enough, orange light bulbs on the ceiling lit up. One row at a time. More people could be seen with each set of light bulbs lit. Numerous people were lying on the floor, arranged in an orderly manner. As you can see here, these employees won't wake up at all. Not waking from their dreams, huh? What kind of dreams could they be having to make faces like this? Ezra said, tilting her head to one side. They seem to have escaped into their dreams. We should have a look at their recent work records. Yuria spoke with a smile. Yeah, I thought so too. I said in agreement. Ezra groaned. Oh dear, and I was trying to appease Ezra for a while now. That's not all, actually. Allsbury, Max Hulk, we drawn Raxa, Rilo, Dang, Cressad, oh wait, Tufo, Cluscovio, Horror, Allsbury, that Max. Okay, I'm not repeating that. All the people lying on the floor opened their eyes and began chanting unintelligible words in unison. The wide underground floor was soon filled with the voices of the many. Eek! Ezra freaked out. I think there was some sort of message hidden in what they just uttered. Yuria spoke with her eyes closed, focusing on the sound. The voices once again echoed throughout the floor. Manager, we'd like to check their work records for the past month. I turned around as I spoke to Manager Kang, who I expected to be right behind us. Kang Jinsil was instead inside the elevator. A steel gate then blocked entry to the elevator. My apologies, fixers. I'm sure you people are capable enough to handle this, right? The elevator doors began sliding. Tell me, what happened to Kaoru from my office? You'll be able to find out soon enough. I hope he could survive this hell. The elevator doors were closed completely. He got us good. The light bulbs on the ceiling flicker. Every time the light bulbs flickered, hundreds of eyes still lying on the floor could be seen gazing at us. Zzz. 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 what the next chapter holds. Ezra, what we're about to face is something completely different from anything we've dealt with before. Yes, Detective. Ezra puts a dimensional bag on the floor. Yuria, observe me to your heart's content. Of course I will. I held my smoking pipe between my lips. I closed my eyes and began breathing in. And with that, I'm done reading for tonight. Too much reading all at once could be a problem. What do you guys think of Distortion Detective so far? I'm a huge fucking fan! 4 chapters an hour average, pretty smooth. Yeah, I'm trying to pace myself. Like, I do want to get through this, but I don't think it's such a big deal to rush it. Besides, we're gonna catch up eventually. Am I right, fellas? Now that's the canceled or discontinued works. Anyway, tomorrow's going to be Battle Trauma instead of Limbus, but Limbus, we should be back on Friday to claim their bones, 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 to claim their bones! Alright then, everyone. Please take care of yourselves. Have a pleasant evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are, whatever you are. I'm gonna go out for a late night run. I should touch grass. Alright, take care, everyone.